The plaintiff would like to omit Plaintiff Exhibit 8. This is the official election results of the mayoral election. Pursuant to the Order on Omnibus Motions and Trial Procedures, number 5, this exhibit may be admitted into evidence at any point in trial.
Your Honor, I just asked that I see these.
Certainly.
May I publish this to the jury?
Any objections, counsel?
No objection, Your Honor.
It'll be admitted. You may publish.
Would Your Honor like a copy?
Sure. Thank you, counsel. Are you going to be showing that to the witness?
No, Your Honor. I'm approaching opposing counsel of Plaintiff Exhibit 8. May I approach the witness with the same?
You may.
TC sample for the plaintiff. May I inquire?
You may.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You recognize that document in front of you, right?
Yes, these are the official findings of the post-election audit. I reviewed selected portions of this audit and coming to my conclusions in today's case.
Your Honor, at this time, the plaintiff offers to move into evidence Plaintiff Exhibit 8.
Objection, Your Honor, to hearsay. These documents are an out-of-court statement used to prove the truth of the matter asserted.
Counsel.
Your Honor, pursuant to Rule 703, evidence that a witness relied upon in coming to the conclusions may be admissible as long as their probative value outweighs their prejudicial effect.
Counsel.
Your Honor, for this to be true, the opposing counsel would have to show that the probative value substantially outweighs any prejudicial effect, and they haven't laid any foundation whatsoever to prove that that is the case.
May I respond, Your Honor?
Briefly.
Your Honor, the witness has just stated that they relied on portions of this audit in coming to their conclusion in today's case. There is no prejudicial effect involved with this.
Your Honor, if I may respond on those grounds. If the opposing counsel is attempting to admit this into evidence based off what the witness used for his conclusions, we simply ask again that they lay foundation for what parts of this document that the witness actually used.
I'm going to ask you to lay a little bit of foundation to establish the probative value of this document.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Chase, in your coming to your conclusions in today's case, you reviewed paragraphs 1 through 12 in this audit.
Yes, as well as 20 through 22 and then 28 through 38.
Your Honor, at this time we offer Plaintiff's 8 into evidence. We ask that all other portions of this document that this witness has not relied upon be constructively redacted.
Objection, Your Honor. Once again, I renew my objection because the opposing counsel has not laid the foundation for why these paragraphs specifically have such a large probative value and can tell the court anything about today's case.
May I respond, Your Honor?
Yes.
Your Honor, if I may make an offer of proof, this audit contains information that will elicit that candidate Ginger would have won the election absent any fraud in today's case. Now, this witness has reviewed those portions of the audit, and he is stating during direct examination that Ms. Candidate Ginger would have not won this election. The probative value for this to come into evidence is for the jury to hear this evidence and to properly weigh this witness's testimony. No prejudicial effect has been elicited at this point because we have redacted portions of this audit that this expert has not relied upon. And if opposing counsel wishes to dive on this, he can do so on redirect examination.
Counsel.
Your Honor, once again, the opposing counsel has shown that there's a large prejudicial effect because of the fact that he's trying to use this to show that Elizabeth Ginger could have won without actually questioning the witness as to whether or not Mr. Davis or the audit's findings are actually correct. Furthermore, during cross-examination, the cross-examiner cannot use this time to show probative value of the author because the author isn't here. Your Honor, the fact is the author of this document is not here and we can't cross-examine that author.
May I respond, Your Honor?
No. Counsel, I understand your concern with regard to this. However, this witness has provided an opinion based upon this underlying information, and so it is within the opposing counsel's purview to explore the basis of those opinions. I will allow this to come in unless I hear anything about additional prejudicial effect. I think that the probative value at this point does outweigh any prejudicial effect. I will allow it. You may redirect on this point.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Michael, when you reviewed this audit, you're aware that Dr. Davis concluded that absent the fraud in today's case, candidate Ginger would have won the election. Isn't that right?
Yes, and I identified several errors in her methodology and found that her findings were incorrect.
Well, I want to talk about the credentials both you and Dr. Davis have. Starting with your own. You have a bachelor's in political science and a master's in demographic and social analysis, right?
Yes, I do.
This is all the formal education you have ever had in your career.
Yes, that's true.
Now, from reviewing the audit, you're aware that Dr. Davis has a bachelor's degree in political science as well.
She does.
You're aware that Dr. Davis has a law degree.
She does.
You're aware that Dr. Davis, he even has a doctorate in quantitative methods.
He does, which is why I found it so odd that her methodology was so flawed.
Well, let's talk about the experience you have in your field. You've worked in polling firms your entire life.
Yes, as well as political advising firms.
In your experience, you've worked for the Heisman campaign 5 times, right?
Yes, as a political advising firm, we are hired by different campaigns, and Mayor Heisman has hired us on 5 separate occasions.
And so the members of the jury are aware, Mayor Heisman's campaign has paid you over the course of your work nearly $500,000.
Well, not me specifically, my firm. That money is then disseminated through every member who partakes in the elections, the polling,
Mr.
and
Michael?
any advising.
We're directing you back to my question. For working for Mayor Heisman over the years, your company has been compensated nearly $500,000.
Yes, that's our standard rate that we would charge to any of our clients.
Now you're aware that Dr. Davis, he's performed independent audits before, right?
Yes.
You're aware that he's testified before the United States Senate?
Yes, I am.
You're aware that he's published in his field?
I am aware.
You're also aware that he's received many awards for his work?
Yes.
Now, despite knowing all of these credentials, you still disagree with Dr. Davis's conclusions, isn't that right?
Yes, because the methodology was flawed and the conclusions were incorrect.
Well, the methodologies, you believe that you have a superior understanding of quantitative methods, isn't that right?
Absolutely.
Do you have a doctorate degree in quantitative methods?
No, but the doctorate degree isn't the only way to learn something.
I want to talk about the February and the March poll that your firm conducted, okay?
All right.
Now, you told us that you used the March polling data when you were estimating the amount of support District 12 would have given candidate Ginger, isn't that right?
Yes, it was the closest poll to the actual date of the election and therefore the most accurate.
Well, I want to make one thing clear. It's accurate in terms of what the people intended to do after fraud had occurred in District 12. Isn't that right?
That's not quite true. What I used from that poll was the 82% support, not the intended voter turnout. So that didn't need to take fraud into account.
Redirecting back to my question, you used this the polling data from March after fraud occurred in the District 12 area.
Yes, but I didn't use any of the points that fraud would have impacted in coming to my conclusions.
You're aware that Dr. Davis, when he formed his conclusions, he based it on the February polling data, right?
Yes, that's one of the problems that I identified with his methodology. The February poll was much earlier than the actual election and therefore inaccurate.
Well, the polling data was from your company, right?
Yes.
Your company has the most accurate information when it comes to election polling in the state of Midlands.
Yes,
right?
So that poll was accurate for February, but because there was a March poll, that one's more accurate in total because it was closer to the date of the actual election.
Well, you never conducted any poll, absence of any fraud, after this February poll, isn't that right?
That's true, but once again, I didn't rely on any points of the poll that would have been affected by fraud.
Now, you're aware in 2011, 19.5% of registered voters voted in District 12. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Mr. Michael, if 19.5% of voters, registered voters in District 12 voted with 90% support, candidate Ginger would win the election per your own analysis.
Yes, but she did not have 90% support in District 12.
And that is from your own opinion that she does not have 90% support.
Objection, Your Honor, more prejudicial than probative. The opposing counsel's question is, as per your analysis, she would have won. He said it's not his analysis, and the opposing counsel is still trying to frame this as his own conclusions when it's simply not.
I think you can address that on redirect if you think that the opposing counsel is mischaracterizing the witness's testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me make one thing clear, Mr. Michael. For your analysis in today's case, you performed a number of calculations to see what would happen in multiple scenarios, right?
Yes, I did.
In the scenario where candidate Ginger has 90% support and a voter turnout of 19.5%, you would have concluded candidate Ginger would win the election.
Yes, but she did not have 90% support when the election happened.
Okay, Mr. Michael. Your Honor, I have nothing further. May I approach the witness and retrieve evidence and publish to the jury?
You may.
Your Honor, may I inquire about how much time I have left?
You have about 9 minutes and 15 seconds.
Redirect, Your Honor.